All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are going to dig into a company that has income investors, well, everywhere talking, and that's AGNC Investment Corp. So, why all the buzz? It really boils down to this one number, 14%. That's the dividend yield we're talking about. And get this, it's paid out every single month. And that is the million-dollar question, right? Is this thing actually too good to be true? Well, over the next few minutes, we're going to pop the hood and really see what's going on inside. So let's dive in. Okay, first things first. Let's talk about why this stock is so seductive. What's the big appeal? Look, if you're an investor looking for regular cash flow, getting a check in the mail or, a deposit in your account every month is pretty much the dream. And that's the lure here. AGNC has been paying out a consistent 12 cents a share every month like clockwork since back in April 2020. So that begs the question, right? How on earth does a company make enough money to pay out a 14% yield? Well, the answer is kind of fascinating, and it's all in their business model. Okay, so AGNC isn't your typical real estate company. They're not landlords collecting rent checks. Think of them more like a bank. They don't own the buildings. They own the mortgages, these big pools of mortgage-backed securities. And their whole game is making money on the spread. The difference between the interest they earn from those mortgages and what it costs them to borrow money. Now, when you break it down like this, it seems pretty simple, right? Step 1, they earn interest. Step 2, they borrow money. But step 3, that's where things get interesting. Leverage. This is the secret sauce. It's the amplifier that can absolutely juice their returns. But, and this is a huge but, it's also what injects a massive amount of risk into the whole operation. All right, so the model explains how they can generate all that income. But when you start looking at the actual financials, oof, that's when some pretty serious red flags start popping up. And here it is. This is the big catch. While you've been collecting those nice monthly dividend checks, the underlying value of the company, what it's actually worth, its tangible book value per share, has been sliced almost in half. So think about that. Your income is coming in, but the principal, your original investment, it's been eroding the whole time. So how are they getting that huge yield? Well, they're using a ton of borrowed money. We're talking more than 7.5 times their own equity. That leverage, it's like a double-edged sword. When things are good, it magnifies the wins and everything looks fantastic. But when things go south, it magnifies the losses just as powerfully. It can be absolutely devastating. And this number, wow, this might be the biggest concern of all. The payout ratio is a whopping 376%. Let me put that another way. For every single dollar the company actually earns, it's paying out almost $4 in dividends. You just have to ask yourself, how is that sustainable? How long can you keep that up? So, you start to put all these pieces together and a clearer picture emerges, doesn't it? It's not just one little thing, it's this whole cocktail of risks. You've got extreme sensitivity to interest rates, that shrinking book value we talked about, a dividend that's not even close to being covered by earnings. It's a lot, and any potential investor really needs to understand this. So where does that leave us? What's the final verdict here? Now that we've seen the good and the bad, let's put them on the scale and weigh them side by side. And when you lay it all out like this, the trade-off becomes crystal clear, doesn't it? On one hand, you're getting this incredible monthly cash flow. That's the big pro. But on the other hand, you are taking on some serious risk to your capital. The pros are all about that instant gratification, the income now. The cons, they're all about the long-term health and stability of your investment. And I think this quote from the Motley Fool just nails it. A huge yield is no substitute for reliability in retirement income. That really gets to the heart of the dilemma, especially for long-term investors. Is that shiny, flashy yield today worth the risk of it not being there for you tomorrow? So at the end of the day, AGNC isn't a good stock or a bad stock. It's just not for everyone. It's more like a specialized tool in a toolbox. It's really designed for a very specific kind of investor, someone who can handle a lot of risk and who absolutely prioritizes that monthly cash flow right now. But one thing is for sure, this is not a set it and forget it kind of investment. And so we kind of end up right back where we started, but hopefully with a much clearer picture of what's going on. That 14% lure, it's absolutely real. But now you know the risks. That declining value, that heavily leveraged business model are just as real. Which leaves you, the investor, with one critical question that only you can answer for yourself.